My name is Mir. I'm the host of the More We Know podcast for the Gen Zs and Millennials. I know I say that. I say it's for the Gen Zs and Millennials. And yeah, although that is the focus, this podcast is really for anyone. But I look back at my time in college and I wish I had something like this. I wish I had a podcast where I could learn from mentors or experts in their industries or, fellow Gen Zs that are talking about real world topics, that are talking about what is a credit card APR, what is investing, what does all this mean? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the More We Know podcast. My name is Mir. I am your host. The More We Know podcast is a podcast made for you guys, the high schoolers, the Gen Zs, the millennials. Honestly, even people outside of the millennials, whether you're 30 or 40 or 50, there's value for everyone. That's why we bring on so many different guests. The reason I started The More We Know was because there's a lack of information and a lack of mentorship in the world. And I was blessed throughout my college career to have good mentors, but a lot of people don't have mentors. So I figured a podcast would be a great way to offer free mentorship in an hour or two or less and just provide people experts from around the world to get that insight. So whether you're in university listening to the podcast on your way to class, whether it's about real estate or sales or finding a why, motivation, the more we know, I want it to be a movement because the more we know, the more we learn and the more we earn. And again, I know the focus is money, but just learning a lot more stuff just helps you guys. So that's why I've made this podcast to help everyone through that. So today on the podcast, we have Adam Bremen, the founder of Keto Krisp, the healthy keto protein bars. They are delicious. They can be found in Whole Foods on their website. Adam has done over 2 million plus in sales with Keto Krisp. And in this episode, you'll find out not only how he's gotten to 2 million plus in sales, not only why his bar is amazing, but more about Adam as a person, where he gets his motivation from, his inspiration, how to keep going. And Adam, I love Adam. He's such a great guy. The way he looks at life, the positivity that he brings. Adam has been in my circle and he's there for me when I just need to talk. He's such a positive guy, and it's an inspiration to talk to someone like him because he has really a different perspective in life. He has a very positive perspective. Even through his tragedies that he's faced in his life, he always finds a way to be positive, and that I'm very greatly appreciative for in Adam. And I hope in this podcast you can see a little bit about that positivity and cherishment and just having self-love and being appreciative of what you have because you can lose it all. You can lose so much, guys, and there's so much pain that goes on in life. Is tough, but Adam reminds us that there is a light, that there is positivity, and bigger than this 2 million plus in sales is Adam as a person and the adversity that he faced. He lost. His story is amazing, and I was so grateful to have him on the podcast, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode just as much as I enjoyed interviewing.
Welcome to the More We Know podcast with your host and social media influencer, Mir. Gen Zs and Millennials.
What is up, everybody? My name is Mir. I am the host of the More We Know podcast because the more we know, the more we learn, and the more we earn. Today, we have an amazing individual, a true stud, a warrior who has an exceptional story. He's an entrepreneur by the name of Adam Bremen, who was born with cerebral palsy and has been confined to a wheelchair for his entire life. Not satisfied with the status quo of using his handicap as an excuse for being overweight, Adam not only was able to lose over 50 pounds on a keto-based diet while being restricted to a wheelchair, but afterwards created a product from scratch with his brother Noah, who is a fitness enthusiast and successful entrepreneur that supported him in his weight loss journey. Adam's relentless pursuit of what he can accomplish over what he can't accomplish due to his disability was the catalyst for bringing the best tasting bar to the market, Keto Krisp. Not satisfied with only helping himself after his extreme weight loss and healthy lifestyle, Adam immediately turned his attention onto how he could help others. Developing Keto Krisp was the answer. After leaving his home in Michigan to attend college and getting his master's at Arizona State, getting married, working at Charles Schwab, traveling and participating in just about every activity an able-bodied person is able to do, starting a company with just an idea didn't seem that daunting. Adam also focuses on many charities. One was an impetus 3 years ago in his healthy lifestyle. He was introduced to a wonderful organization, Life Rolls On, by dear friends Jeremy and Jocelyn Schapp, which help people with disabilities surf. That same organization just honored Adam for Athlete of the Year. Adam has persevered through incredible physical as well as heartbreak to bring you one of the most inspirational stories you will ever hear. After losing his wife, father, and beloved uncle all to cancer, and his brother Noah suffering from a life-threatening injury within a 3-year time frame, no obstacle ever seems too difficult for Adam to overcome and achieve. Adam is amazing. Adam is a warrior. This is a story you want to sit down to and listen today because today we got one of the most motivational stories you'll ever hear. Welcome, Adam Bremen.
Hi, Samir. It's great to be on. What a great great thrill it is to be on and to work with you and to be able to share my stories is a great honor. Thank you very much for having me.
It is an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. So, Adam, the podcast, you've been a fan of the podcast, you've watched what we do. I always like to talk about, before going into how cool Keto Krisp is and what you guys are doing, can you first walk us through your life story? I know I gave an introduction, but walk us through growing up.
So I was born 3 months premature. My parents were actually in Florida visiting my grandma, my mom's mother, and she started going into labor. And back then, the technology wasn't the way that it was today. And I was born 3 months early. And you know, I I had always just wanted to be like everybody else. I never looked at life as why me or woe is me. I just looked at it as an opportunity for me to continue to grow and get better. Obviously as a young kid and as a parent, it's really heartbreaking to find out that your child has a disability or special need in any way. But the catalyst to my success was my parents' support and my family's support, always believing in what I could do versus what I may or may not be able to do. And that's really been my calling card my whole life, has been my attitude and looking at life through the ability to, again, do the things that I can do versus what I can't. And I never spent time, why me, woe is me. I just kept moving along and moving forward. And again, looking at the opportunity of life and being grateful for every day.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's just there's such a great story and having that gratefulness. So, what did your parents do for a living while you were growing up?
My dad was in marketing as well and branding and worked with a lot of different products. He actually called on Kmart and was a manufacturer's rep. He represented brands and helped different brands, all kinds of brands, get into Kmart. Kmart's headquarters was about 25 minutes from where we lived. And my mom's, you know, had a few different jobs, but her main job was to make sure that to taking care of the family and running the household. And just so thankful for the great family environment that they created, and really it was built on love and encouragement, always supporting in whatever our dreams would be. Our parents are just loving, positive people, and always gave us the opportunity to do whatever we wanted to do, and it was always a loving, engaging, supportive environment.
Do you think a lot of that loving, engaging, supportive environment sort of led to your success today and where you're at through all the difficulties?
There's no question about it. No question about it. It all starts with attitude, and they really laid the framework for going out and living your dreams and giving you every opportunity to be successful. And I just wanted to be like everybody else. I wasn't looking for a specialty or a free handout. I just wanted to play sports like everybody else. I wanted to, uh, go to the movies like everybody else, go to dinners. I just wanted to be like everybody else. And just so happens to be in this unique position of being in a chair, uh, you know, uh, that gave me that unique perspective on life to really appreciate people for who they are and what they do. And I really believe that everybody in life has a true gift. And I look at life through that lens, and just to be thankful for each and every day.
Just such a powerful statement to hear because being thankful is so important in life. And a lot of us take a lot of things for granted. Growing up in the chair, and the tremendous difficulties that you faced, a lot of people might look at it as life is not fair. Why me? What type of mindset did you have? I know you've always been grateful, but growing up with the chair, how did you actually take that situation and make it such a positive? Because you're such a winner.
Well, again, I was just so happy to have the opportunity. I look around and I say, wow, it could be a lot worse. And, at least I have my mind and at least I can speak. And, again, really weighing in on the things that I could do. And just wanted to be, I was just happy to be around and happy to be loved by people. And being loved and getting out there is fun. And I just saw the fun in life. I was just like a kid, like everybody else. I had no I didn't know any different. I was never able to walk, so I didn't know what it felt like to be able to walk and then have it taken away. I've had friends, unfortunately, that have been involved in, injuries and whatnot, and one day they could walk, and now they're confined to a wheelchair. And I would like to think I would be able to handle it in such a positive way, but those folks and everybody else in life inspires me, just like you get inspiration from me and I get inspiration from you. It's we really feed off the energy of positivity of others, and I'm just excited to be part of something so cool where nothing is promised to us, and if we take every day and do the best we can, that's all we can ask of each other.
Absolutely. Nothing is promised out here, and that's why we have to live every day to the fullest. So someone goes through a tragedy, a hardship, a car accident, losing a job, losing money in the stock market. What would be your advice to someone like that? Like, how do you deal with hardships?
Well, um, I really think in every difficult situation, there's a learning lesson. I think actually P. Diddy has a quote: "L's are not only for don't mean losses; they mean lessons." So if you take uh, every situation and learn from it, you're really ahead of the game, and you really got to break it down into small pieces and not try to overwhelm yourself. And even in a negative situation, I try to find the positive outcome. For example, COVID, this year has been very difficult for everybody, but I think of all the wonderful people that I've met through this time, including yourself, and you know, there's still a lot of positive things to go, even through such a challenging year. So just try to take a little bit of ounce of positivity and grow with that. I think and you really got to keep life simple. You can't outthink it. You can't stress yourself out too much, and just go with the flow. Really, there's no real there's no recipe or no right or wrong answer, just what feels right. And just go with the flow and be yourself and be comfortable. And I've always had confidence in myself and believed in myself, and I just know that things will work out one way or another. I always believed in that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's very inspirational, and just understanding that things eventually work out is great to hear. So in terms of, I want to talk about a bunch because I just feel like we could talk about so many things. You're just such an interesting individual and you're such an amazing story. But we talked about your parents growing up and that life and the entrepreneurial vision. But a lot of my audience, as you know, is Gen Zs and millennials. So talk about your time in college, what college was like, what your major was, and if you recommend college.
Of course, college was a great experience for me. It was really interesting. My parents had always encouraged me to go somewhere warm to go to school. They're like, Adam, you don't have to shovel the sunshine. So, my brother actually had spent a semester out in U of A, and we were out on a family vacation visiting the University of Arizona. And we landed in Phoenix, Arizona. And I was just so impressed with the landscape of Phoenix. It was clean, it was new, it was wide, there was a lot of handicap spaces. It was an up and coming city. I just found it very easy to get around, and I had an opportunity to visit Arizona State, and just fell in love with the campus, the beautiful palm trees, the beautiful people. I'm like, this is perfect for me. Sunshine every day. It was literally like summer camp, and it really gave me an opportunity to live on my own. I always knew I could do it, but you never know until you try. And I always said this: if it didn't work out in whatever way, shape, or form, you could always come back. So I literally, and there were some hard days. The first couple of days, I remember when I moved there in late August, it was so hot, Samir. It was like 110 degrees. I remember calling my dad on the phone. I'm like, Dad, I don't know if I could take this heat. This is crazy. But I just took it one day at a time and just, said I'm going to try it. And again, what's the worst thing that could happen if it does? If it doesn't work out, you go home. But I went to all the icebreaker meetings, all the freshman dorm activities. I just kept myself busy and just introduced myself to as many people as I can. And what makes me so happy today is the friends that I met in college are still my great friends today. And I was forced to, do a lot of things on my own, which gave me a lot of independence, which leads to confidence. Confidence leads to, positivity, and just kind of shaping yourself. There's the textbook side of it, truly, which is important, but equally more important is the social aspect and learning about yourself and creating that environment or creating you as a human. Responsibilities. Uh, you know, Getting your homework done. What's important. You know, I always appreciated family, but even more as you're away, you appreciate them even more. So it was the best experience of my life, and I would strongly encourage everybody if they can to attend college. Not only by commuting, but if you can live on the dorm or live with your peers, it's the best. It really I look back on it now, and I was always so excited to work and to have a job that I wanted to get done in 4 years. Having looked back on it now, I wish I would have stretched it out longer, because college was a great experience, and certainly recommend it to anyone and everyone who can do it.
I agree. I feel like the networking aspect is huge in college. I mean, I graduated college not too long ago, but still, some of my best friends are from college. Even though it's less more about the geometry classes and more about the networking, the life experiences. So, what do you got to say to someone that is scared about the loans that they got to take on, the student debt?
Well, that certainly is something you got to look at, but I think I definitely think it's worth it. I mean, it's going to it's going to allow you to grow as an individual, as we touched on. Uh, You know, um, uh, I think having that burden of student loans, although it is a burden, I think the success and the fun that you're going to have and the personal growth that you're going to get from going to college uh, far outweighs, student loans and any any challenges that may come from that. So, I would say go for it. I'm always of the opinion it'll work itself out. You got to go for it. You know, uh, you got to take chances in life, and that certainly is one that I would do all day long. It's I can everybody has their own situation, and but like I said, I'm a big advocate of college for the educational side. Most importantly, however, for the social aspect of it. So, if you can, just figure out a way to just do it and get it done.
That makes sense, definitely. So, got through your life story a little bit, not yours, but growing up with your family, college. Great advice on college, and I love what you said about meeting people, networking, those icebreaker groups. That's all great advice. So, as we transition into this podcast, I can't wait to talk about Keto Krisp, talk about the business side, about how delicious those bars are. By the way, guys, Adam did send me bars, and they were delicious. The almond chocolate chip, that one was so good.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, it's been so fun. My whole life, I've been kind of a foodie, and that's why I was heavy, for so long. And then I kind of got turned on to keto by accident. I was introduced to Life Rolls On, an organization that helps special people with special needs surf and get in the water. And I live in Southern California, and the beach is really close. And I figured, since I'm in Southern California, why don't I surf? A friend of mine, Jeremy and Jocelyn Shep, said, "You got to go check out this guy, Jesse Billauer. He runs this organization, and he's in a chair himself." And so I went down there June 1st of 2017, and I was just blown away by the enthusiasm of the volunteers and the athletes, and even friends and family members were excited, and they weren't even getting in the water. It's just a great, great event. And I honestly felt like if I was in better shape, I could do more activities like this. and I always wanted to get in shape, and never really had the opportunity because I was uh, involved in work and other things, and just a daily grind of life. And I had the opportunity back then to really dedicate myself to health and wellness, and it was the greatest thing that I've ever done for myself. And having an opportunity to create a product that not only adds nutritional value but allows people to connect and share their stories um, is really the icing on the cake, and really what gets me most excited about the brand is being able to connect and share stories with one another.
Let's talk about that because, as you know, I lost 100 pounds myself. I'm on track to lose my last 100. I gained the quarantine 15. It's been tough, but weight loss is such a tough task, but it's doable. It's the best feeling in the world. But let's talk to the audience a little bit about weight loss. You had your own weight loss journey, and you did it all from a chair. Like, you literally have so many people complain about weight loss when they have a gym, when they're able to go run, go walk. Talk about your weight loss journey.
Well, literally, like I said, I was just trying to lose weight like everybody else, and I had started with working out 5 days a week in the pool, just trying to move my body to loosen up, and you know, and we were doing some really good things in the pool, and my friend and who's helping me in the pool said, Adam, if we really want to turn this thing up, and I was really wanting to turning it up, meaning, you know, put my foot on the gas. He's like, well, we need to make changes to your diet. And I'm like, okay, what do we need to do? And he started listing certain things that I needed to get rid of. And I just said, okay, let's go. And then, of course, Google being such a great tool nowadays, I kept looking at what I was putting into my body and what I was taking out. And it was really aligned with the keto based diet. And then I watched the movie The Magic Pill, and it talks the benefits of about the ketogenic diet. And then I just started doing more and more research, and really found a need for a great tasting snack bar that was keto, that was in the keto space. I wouldn't call myself an expert at the time, or but I just started learning more about it and really adopting that diet of really getting rid of the carbs and sugars as much as possible, and continuing with the swimming exercises. And before I knew it, I think I've lost a total of over 65 pounds. And the chair is just a part of me. It doesn't define me at all. It's just something that helps me get around, and I relish the opportunity to educate and to inspire, because I've said this before, every day people inspire me. And, at the end of the day, we're all people. We need love, we need support, especially when you're going through a diet or transition. Every bit of positive encouragement is extremely helpful.
And on that topic of diet and sticking with it, one of the hardest parts for me in my weight loss journey, even now, is honestly, it's not even the workout so much. It's more the consistency in the terms of food. I suffer with those nighttime cravings. On the weekends, you want to go out with friends, you want to have all these quote unquote cheat meals. What's the secret to having that balanced, healthy diet to actually lose the weight? Because, as you know, Adam, I'm sure you agree that the diet and what you eat is the most important part.
Yeah, it's really going to be about 85% diet and 15%, exercise. Especially for me in the beginning, I was completely disciplined. Like, I would never have a cheat day. I would, just I was so excited that I was actually losing weight, because I had tried like Weight Watchers before, done certain things, and it never really stuck to me. And now, looking back on it 3 years ago when I was in the trenches, so to speak, I was so committed, Samir, that you know that's one of the tools, just the commitment, the want to, the passion to get better. And I'm trying to get better every day. you know every day you want to get better, you want to get outside of your comfort zone, you want to push yourself. And you know I I don't know, it was a great challenge, and just I guess the discipline. I just said, nope, I'm on a good roll. I'm going to stick with it. I made this commitment to myself, and I'm just gonna start it. But again, you're gonna have days where you're not gonna feel like you may want something that may not be on the diet, and that's okay. But every day you start anew, and you just try to keep with it. It's really like learning a new language. I've kind of taught myself, how to eat differently. You know, getting rid of some of those bad habits.
Commitment and discipline, those are two powerful concepts that when I lost my 100 pounds the same way like you and on your journey, that was the biggest thing. So Adam, commitment, discipline, you wanted it bad enough, even on the down days where you weren't feeling the best, you still got through it. You're so driven, you're so motivated, you've suffered with losses, you've had gains, you've had success. But Adam, tell the audience, what's your why?
Why? Because I just love life, and I want to be here as long as I can. And I love my family. I love my friends. I just, I'm so grateful. I remember when I was a kid, 5 years old. After being diagnosed, I was, was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when I was 2 years old. And I remember when I was five, I got my first chair, and I just wanted to be like everybody else. I grew up idolizing my older brother, and he was very athletic and is such a great guy and such an inspiration. And my parents, are so loving. My sister and all my family and friends are so great. I want to be around, and I love life. Life is a gift, and I find it so fun and so enjoyable that uh, I, I, why? Because it's fun, and I love to have fun. There's no magical answer. It's just life is great, and it's. I'm really honored to be here. My disability could be a lot worse, and I'm grateful. Again for all the skills that I have, and why? Just because I want to see. I want to see what I can do. I want to just keep enjoying life every day, and that's why I love life.
So much positivity, just such a big smile on my face listening to that with all the negativity in the world and what's going on. You love life, and I hear it in your voice. And I hope people listening to that are having sadness, negativity, doubts, just listen to Adam's powerful words. He loves life, loves his family, and wants to see what he can do. On the concept of family, Adam, this podcast is supposed to be positive. The podcast is about educating people, but it's really also about motivation and reality. Uh, and as long as you're comfortable with it, can you talk about the toughest loss in your life?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's been a lot of loss. Anytime you lose a loved uh, one, it's extremely tough. And in the last, 5 6 years, I lost my dad to cancer in 2011, then my uncle in 2013, and then sadly, my wife in 2015. So it's been extremely, extremely difficult. And but you know what? Hmm, it's it's tough. Cancer is, as we all know, just a beast of a disease, and there are no words to express the sadness that I have or anybody else that's lost a loved one. Um, and hmm, it's it's difficult to articulate the emotions that I feel. But again, looking at the positive, which I always try to do, I'm so thankful that I had my dad and my uncle and my wife in my life, and we created so many memories that I keep those close to my heart every day. And you know, it's tough. There's no getting around it. Um, I I don't know how to put it into words, and obviously my wife, uh, she was died at such a young age. I just every day I feel so sad for her that she didn't get the opportunity to fulfill her dreams, and we didn't get to fulfill our dreams together. And that really breaks my heart. Um, Obviously, um, what gets me through is the times that we did have together. I mean, we laughed, we traveled, we went to dinners, we did all kinds of fun things. We loved each other every single day. Now, every day is not going to be easy. It's in a relationship, so that goes without saying. But I'm just truly grateful um, uh, to have Rachel in my life, and she's an inspiration to me every day. I know she's up there waving down and so excited. She's probably laughing, and I know she's laughing, and um, it's really tough though, really very tough and shocking. But at the time, I wanted to give her the best life possible. When she was diagnosed with cancer, um, obviously it's shocking, but the world doesn't stop just because there's bad news. It keeps going. And I learned that if you get sucked into the negativity, it's just like a snowball effect. The same thing is true as if you're positive all the time, things will always turn out. And um, again, I tend to focus on the positive. The time that we had together was beautiful. Our relationship was great, um, and it's true. It's tough though. I look back on it and I say, "Wow, how did we make it through that?" I don't know. My focus was always on Rachel and how could I help her be as most comfortable in her situation, and how could I provide or help provide her with the greatest life experience possible. And that was my focus, was to just be there for her and to try to give her the very best every day. Because you can only control what you can control, and I could control. Um, Trying to put a smile on her face, and that was my goal, and making her as comfortable as possible. Um, but and as tough as it is, all they want at that time is love and support. They don't. They want time. It's not. It's a good question, Samir. You just deal with it one day at a time, and do the best you can. But it's certainly not easy, and I'm just thankful that Rachel allowed me to love her the way that she deserved to be loved. And we did a lot of great things in the short time that we had together. And my heart goes out to anyone and everyone that's lost a loved one, especially well before their time. I mean, my dad, passed away at 64. He did more in his life than people would be able to do in 120 years, and he was always positive, always smiling, always there for people, always going the extra mile, always working hard, always doing whatever he could to make anybody's life better. And I used that as a blueprint in my life, and my brother and my sister did it as well. And everybody that met my dad, and my uncle was an iconic man. He was extremely smart, dedicated to his family, funny, and just a genuine, loving guy. And so I had these great role models in my life, and so um, just to be able to be in their presence was really something that I cherish every day. And um, I'm so thankful looking back on it now um, that they're that they were in my life. And so yeah, uh, thank you for giving me the time to express that.
No, thank you, Adam, for sharing that, and it's touching to me, and it's tough to hear and listen to, because it is sad, and you're making the most out of it. But the key is Rachel is right there. Rachel's not on the Keto Krisp logo. She's in your heart right there. She's behind the Keto Krisp, whether it's one sale or 1 million sales, or whether it's you win athlete of the year, whatever it is, Rachel is a part of you through all your success, through love, life, and happiness. I know she's with you through this whole journey.
Yeah, she is, and she always will be. And again, I look back at our time together, and I'm happy, obviously saddened that, but I know she's here and she's around me everywhere, and that gives me inspiration and hope, and it just I miss her. I miss all my loved ones that are not here, just like everybody else. It's a part of life, and um, but you take those good memories and you keep rolling. So that's what I try
Amen.
to do each and every day.
Amen to that. So I know you've been through hardships, you've been through losses, and I know losing your wife was very tough. You guys had a great relationship, but what was the greatest advice that your wife taught you about life?
Just to just to laugh every day, and to just um, near the end, I was just amazed at her courage and her guts and her will just to keep fighting when doctors, you know, said that things aren't looking so good. We never gave up. We always believed, and I always, would push to find the right answers, or we we always had hope. We always had hope, and she was so determined to um, to win at life, and to be a good humanitarian, and to be loving uh, daughter, sister to her family, to everybody that she was in contact with. She cared tremendously about people. Um, you know, I guess that's why we fell in love with each other, because we were very similar in our mindsets, and how we treated people, and how we live life, and we wanted to have fun and enjoy, and we looked at the positive of everything. And, you know, that was why we were such a good match. And you know, I always say that laughter is the best medicine, and we laughed a lot, even in hard times. So
Very powerful, Adam. Thanks for opening up to us about that, and I know the audience will appreciate that. And thanks to your beautiful wife for watching over you. She's an angel, and your entire family. I know you said your uncle, your father. Um, so it's clear that it seems like without even asking you, but the best way to weather the storm of these losses is, as basic as it sounds, is you have to stay positive, right?
yeah, you have to stay positive, and you have to. I'm constantly, whenever I think of Rachel, I think about, or my dad or my uncle, all the lessons, that, you know, positive lessons, and the love that they showed each and every day. And just I it's like a recording embedded in my mind that I can always push play. And pictures really help too. I've got tons and tons of pictures that I'm constantly going through each and every day. It just brings smile and appreciation to how special life is, and that you got to live life every day to the fullest, because tomorrow's promised to nobody.
Amen to that, brother. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, your story, about your family, and I know in the losses. I really think the key, all these episodes, the more we know is about learning more, education, business, life lessons. But I feel like the most valuable part about this episode is you've been through so much hardship, whether it's a disability, whether it's, you went to college, you went corporate, you tried the corporate life, you're an entrepreneur, whether it's losing family members. I always say, you can always lose a dollar, you can always lose money, but losing a family member is the hardest. That's the toughest part.
I always said, Samir, that if I do what I'm capable of doing, the money will always be there. I
Hmm,
remember that. That's one of the most
powerful.
important. You gotta be doing something you're passionate about, because the passion will dictate everything else. And I'm passionate about my family. I'm passionate about what I do every day, and all the money and all that will come as long as the passion shows through. And at the end of the day, it's all about the people that you surround yourself with, and the positive experiences that you have, and the attitude that you keep. Really, the attitude is the most important thing. And I always say this, not every day is going to be a great day, but if you have, 5 out of 7 days that are good, you're doing good. And I cherish every relationship that I have, and I'm so, even with all the losses that that our family has had to take over the last 5 years, you know, um, I'm just, you know, I'm I'm thankful. Uh, I'm thankful for for my dad and my uncle and Rachel, obviously, and I just just choose to focus on that and how great it was, and and there, it's tough, but they would want me to continue to move my life forward, and so I'm doing that, and it feels good to know that they're forever in my heart. They'll always be there.
That's a great segue into the next part of the podcast. My next question: what is that on your shirt? What is Keto Krisp? What do you do for a living?
Well, Keto Krisp is the best tasting snack bar on the planet. We started Keto Krisp. Um, we launched back in 2019. Started creating it literally about 9 months earlier than that, just as an idea. Again, uh, I'm very into people, and just observing life. I'm fascinated by people. So I would go into the store and I would try different keto products, and I would notice that there was a real need for a great tasting snack bar. And my brother, having such a tremendous background in marketing and branding, we were sitting down one day and we're like, why don't we see if we can create our own snack bar? There's really a need for a great tasting bar that you know is is in the keto space. And he has 25 years of marketing and branding, and I'd like to think I have a great story to inspire and empower people. And you know we worked with a research and development group to create a bar, and we created a small run of the bars, and we threw it up on our website. We threw it up on Amazon. I literally would go door to door of local grocery store markets, and I would say, guys, you got to try the bar. You got to try the bar. You got to try the bar, because we were so excited about how it tasted, and we were like, man, this is great. And been so fun to be able to share the story and come out with a great product. Um, but if you would have told me 2 years ago I'd be in the bar business 2.5 years ago, I would tell you you're nuts. But life has a way of just figuring itself out, and I couldn't be happier to be around such a great group of teammates that we have, and the momentum that we have, knowing that we're still providing great taste and optimal nutritional value is something that we're super, super excited about, and being thought leaders in the food category going forward is really something I get excited about.
And what are you guys' sales year to date, if you're able to share?
We're right about the 1.5 million range for being around a year and a half. We've done a pretty good job. We still have a long way to go, but we're humble and hungry, and I couldn't be prouder of the team that we have and what we're putting in place. And the relationships and and we're just real excited. Just we want to just stay laser focused on providing great customer service, connecting with folks, and putting the bar in as many people's hands as possible. I spend a lot of my day literally just passing out free samples so that people can try it. Just interacting with customers is my favorite thing to do.
Awesome. Where can people go buy the bars?
The bars are we're mostly in retail stores here in California. We're in Whole Foods, so SoCal. We are in Fresh Markets. Uh, we are in Gelson's. We're on in Amazon. We're on our website, and we're growing every day. We're uh, uh, so yeah. Um, it, we're just excited, and you know, before COVID, we were out on the road demoing every day, and I would go into the stores and just set up a little booth, and people would try it, and I would just get so excited by the feedback and energy that the customers would show. It was great. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
When going door to door to grocery stores, what is it like? Like, who do you go talk to? Who exactly do you say try these samples? Do you talk to random customers? Do you look for the grocery store manager? And I mean, like, Whole Foods is so big; it's a corporate chain.
Yeah, I mean, you it depends on what level. Like if you're going to somebody at Whole Foods, it's great to go to the different trade shows that they have throughout the country. And we were fortunate to have booths, and then buyers would come around, or people from Whole Foods would come around, and the various grocers would come around, and I would set up meetings and go in and talk to the buyers. If you're at the store level, you want to talk to the store managers. You just say, hey, I'd love for you to try a sample and get your feedback, and just talk to them about it. They're passionate about food, or they wouldn't be in their business as well, so they understand the entrepreneurial spirit. And you know uh, I've known this my whole life, is people want to help nice people. You want to help nice people, so we all work together and to build something special. And so I'm so grateful for the relationships, not only that I built because of Keto Krisp, but over my lifetime. And just just reaching out and getting people's feedback. It's great.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for that insight. And what makes Keto Crisp so special?
I really think what makes it so special is its taste, and its quality ingredients and the texture. We've really honed in on the taste, wanting to make it taste great with all the natural ingredients, not the sugars, you know, not the harmful effects of ingredients that aren't so good for you. And we spent a lot of time looking at the keto diet and then adapting the bar to, to to take those ingredients and building it around great taste. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't taste great, I don't care. I want it to be an enjoyable eating experience, not one that you have to like, oh my God, I gotta eat this because. I want you to look forward to it, you know.
Yeah,
So I think that we've done a nice job in using those ingredients and coming up with the right mix and the right nutritionals to have a great tasting bar.
that's awesome. How do you deal as an entrepreneur in an industry that's extremely crowded? How do you deal with competition in the space?
Well, I think number one, you have to be aware of your competition. And I've spent a lot of time trying different bars, and I'm very respectful of people and the competition. And you know, just I spend a lot of time going up and down different grocery aisles. You should see all the different boxes of bars that I have in my home, just constantly trying different things. I always want to make myself aware of what's out there. And um, but I think it's important to always, stay true to who we are as a brand, and we're about, great taste and great texture. And, you know, if we continue to do that, we feel that everything else will fall into place. And it's really important, Samir, to listen to your customers. I feel like today customers are more and more aware about what they're putting in their body, and they understand the harmful effects of natural sugars and things of that nature that aren't good for their body. And we can see in sales of products that do have those sugars how they've declined. So I think in any business, especially this business and one that's so crowded and so competitive, you really need to focus in on what the customers are telling you, and then being able to adapt and pivot rather quickly and always come up with innovation. I think innovation is very exciting, and I think always having an open mind is critical to success.
And how do you kind of get and understand what the customers are looking for? Is it by giving out samples and having them review it? How do you kind of get customer feedback?
And that's the real joy in my job, is actually just talking to them, saying, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Or just, like I said earlier in the podcast, I'm constantly out there giving bars away. I just want to hear what people think. You know, so I I, I think that's really a critical component to this, is listening and understanding, and again being able to pivot and to move quickly.
Yeah, pivoting, moving quickly. That's great advice. That's like a masterclass in entrepreneurship right there. What's the greatest challenge as an entrepreneur and being the CEO and founder of Keto Krisp?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is the unknown. We've been at this a year and a half, and before this, you know, experience is the best teacher. So every day, you learn something new, and you just got to roll with the punches and understand you can only control what you can control, and just constantly prepare, and try to plan as best as possible. But there are going to be some curveballs. There are going to be some challenges, whether it be supply chain, whether it be uh, dealing with a retailer, dealing with a distributor. Just being patient and understanding the space and leaning on people that have been there. Some of the greatest teachers are people that are in the industry themselves, and they've been terrific mentors for me and to our team. I can't and won't take credit for all of this. I'm just a small part in the wheel of Keto Krisp, and we have a great team around, and I'm just so happy and thankful to have our team that we do have.
And how important is it in entrepreneurship to have a great team around you?
Oh, it's everything. Team is everything. And I grew up being a big sports fan, and I'm a huge believer in team, and working together, and cheering for one another, and building each other up and cheering each other on, and putting people in positions to win, looking at each individual skill set, and hey, what do they do great, and let's put them in positions to thrive. And whatever that is, because when you put people in position to thrive, they'll go that extra mile. And that's what our goal is every day, is to put people in position to be successful. And not every day is going to be, you know, a success, so to speak. But even in challenges, you learn and you move and you make changes. You know.
Goes back to that concept that you talk about with pivoting. So what about in entrepreneurship? You kind of have to wear all the hats, right? But are you yourself, do you do everything on your own, like whether it's taxes, employee payroll, marketing, or is that more of the thing where entrepreneurs don't have to worry, where you can actually build a team to help you with your taxes, the benefits, the
Well,
paperwork?
well, I wouldn't say that paperwork is my strongest suit. My strongest suit is definitely getting out and meeting with people. So thankfully, I know a lot of people in industry of taxes and paperwork, and kind of lean on them to do their thing. I wouldn't say at all. That's my strong suit. And, uh, you know, but it's certainly very, very important and something you have to be aware of. And I certainly am. And, we have a team that helps with that, but it's very, very important.
So if Keto Krisp tomorrow, you got approached by one of those big CPG brands, let's say Kellogg, whatever, and they wrote you guys a check for $1 billion and you got bought out and you're done, what would be the proudest part for you? Would it be the money, or is it because I sense from you, it's really about the fact that you would just be getting healthy, best tasting bars into people's hands?
Yes, for sure. It would be that I would, again, continue to make a positive impact on the world. It would be awesome because that means a lot of people found a lot of joy in our products, and that would make me most proud. Um, Really, and I don't, you know, um, to be honest with you, you think about that, but that's so far. I always say, if I do what I'm capable of doing, the money will be there. And if we do what we're capable of doing as a team, the money will be there. But and it's great to dream and it's fun to dream. And I have confidence that one day we'll get there. But you really just want to keep your eye on the day-to-day operations, the blocking and tackling, and putting your brand in positions to win. And and then, you know, and then being able also to understand that, hey, maybe this isn't working, that maybe we need to make a slight change here or there. That you just have to be always aware and observant. Always keep your eyes and ears open. Number one, listening to the customer, making the customer happy. And that's our main focus, Keto Chris, as well as, great tasting bars, of course.
And again, guys, those bars are delicious. I've had a plethora of them. They are so good. It would mean a lot to me, and I know Adam, if you guys just take a second, check them out on Amazon, get them from their website. They are really some delicious bars, and I think it's something that I'm going to start eating more of just because I'm really trying to lose these last 100 pounds. And the biggest thing for me is the struggle with snacking. And Keto Crisp hits it on the spot. A nice bottle of water and a nice Keto Crisp.
That's great. Tell me, speak to me specifically about your challenges with your weight loss. Everybody has a different story. I want to hear yours.
So this is back in college, my sophomore year, I was 300 plus pounds. I was pre-diabetic, high liver enzymes, and I came from a family, believe it or not, of doctors. So I came from a family that health was big to them, but they were never home, right? So it was tough. It was tough, and it was challenging for my family to see me get that overweight because here's a kid, you're 19 years old, you're basically the doctor's telling you you're not going to live long. You're not going to live past 30 because your liver enzymes are tremendously high. You're about to have diabetes in a year or two. And if you don't make a change, you're basically screwed. And at that point, I got off the pity potty and I started making changes. So I started with eating a little better. I went on the low carb route. So low carb is sort of like keto, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I went the low carb route. I started simple. That's why it was music to my ears. When I brought up the $1 billion thing, you said, while that's awesome and that's the goal and you're confident you'll get there, you're focusing on the day to day. So that was the biggest thing. Because I was 300 plus pounds, I was focusing on what can I do now? What can I do every day to get closer to just losing 1 pound? Like you and I talked right before this podcast about, it's 1 pound, one day at a time. So I was walking for 30 minutes to an hour every single day. Eventually, I lost 10 pounds. I'm like, boom, I was lifting weights. I started doing 2 workouts a day. Boom, I fell so in love with it. I started doing 3 workouts a day. At my peak, I don't know how healthy this is, but I was doing 4 workouts a day because I loved it so much. I was doing fasted cardio in the morning. I was lifting heavy weights in the afternoon. I was playing basketball in the evening. And then late at night, 10 p.m., I was meeting up with a boxing trainer to do boxing. I was just so addicted to it. And I lost 100 pounds in 4 months.
That's incredible. And I that story resonates with me so well because that's how I started. I mean, I started small. I didn't know anything about keto or what keto was or how it worked. Or at the time, I didn't even the thought of creating a snack bar wasn't even on my radar. I just wanted to make some changes. I just wanted to lose weight like everybody else. And again, I fell in love with the process of getting in the pool and seeing the results. I mean, I couldn't wait to get up in the morning and continue my regimen to get better. And then, again, and I don't mean to be repetitive, but seeing what I was eating and watching the diet and watching the weight just fall off was incredibly motivating. I just kept going and going and going,
Incredible. Yeah,
just
it's incredible. What would you say? Maybe the audience, maybe there's someone listening to this right now in their car or whatever they're doing, and they relate to me. So I lost 100 pounds. I gained about 50 pounds back, to be just quite transparent with you. So that's why I'm trying to lose my last 100 pounds, because I did gain about 40 pounds back in the 40 to 50 in the last year or so.
Yep.
My biggest struggle is the food. I can work out, no problem. I can get it in each day. I can play a motivational podcast or music. But my biggest struggle is staying true to myself with food, and the biggest part at night, I get those cravings. What's your secret? Like, what should we do?
Unfortunately for me, I say no. I, I'm very giving to other people, and I'll give the world to everyone. But I, I just I'm just very disciplined. When I set a goal and something that I want to do, I just get it done. There's no excuses. Just say, uh, you know. But you gotta be easy on yourself too. So give yourself, if you do like those cravings, say I'm gonna do it one night a week. Don't do it seven. Say I'm gonna do it 3 nights a week. Like for example, I love pizza, and I wasn't gonna go cold turkey. So I used to have pizza 2, 3 nights a week. So back then, I only have it one night a week, and that's it. Done. If you want to improve, you got to do it. You got to act on your words. You know, talk is cheap. It's as simple as that.
Talk is
You know,
cheap.
you know. Um, but the actual doing of it, you can do it. I know you can. You've
Thank
done
you.
it before.
I know. I just need to wake up.
No, you are awake. You just need to give yourself a break and just do little by little. You're not going to get 50 pounds back in one day. It's
Yeah,
not going to be in one week. Just do 5 pounds, and you got to
it's gonna take time.
celebrate those. You got to celebrate those, man. You got to celebrate them. You got to
Amen.
celebrate every victory. It's a lot more fun when you're winning. But when you keep, saying, "Oh, I didn't get it today. Ah, I didn't get it today," you get discouraged. I've been there. I know. So you gotta break it down into bite-sized pieces that you know you can achieve. And then success breeds success.
Yeah,
Positivity breeds positivity. And before you know it, you've lost it. You've been there. You've lost 100 pounds. You can do it. Just you have to understand when is the want to. When do you want to do it? Write it down on a calendar. And nobody's forcing you to do it. You're not shaming anybody. You're what are you, 23 years old?
yep.
You got all the time in the world. Look at what you've done. It's incredible.
You know what? That's it. Even on the podcast, I feel like I'm just talking to you, but I'm taking it. I'm taking it starting today. I'm really gonna
No,
get
and
after with
start
my
tomorrow.
wheels.
Whatever. After we're done with the podcast, just go for
Just
a
get it. Go
walk.
go get it done. After we're done right here, I'm gonna go for a walk.
Just go for a walk. You feel much better. Look at that. Look at that freaking smile you got.
Yeah, you're Adam. You're so motivational, man. You're just so motivational. Your story is just so good. It's so great, and it's awesome. You know what? It's not even awesome because you have $1 million in sales, $2 million. That's cool. That's awesome. What's really awesome is you have a heart of gold. You're just such a nice person. You're all about being nice to people. And I don't want to get into politics, but when you do see all these messy, nasty words being thrown in politics, it's nice to see positivity. It's so refreshing.
Well, I mean, again, I'm so thankful to have the attitude that I've had, and such a tremendous, tremendous family. Really, I say this all the time. Family is everything to me, and there's no way I could be the person that I am today without their love and support. And I'm just happy to be here, man. I really am. I'm happy to have the ability that I have. I've seen a lot of people and shared that don't have the opportunities that I have. And for me to feel sorry for myself is just a waste of time. And I would say that if you feel sorry for me, then you have energy and passion to better yourself. And that's what I want to see is people uh, making themselves better because nothing
Sure.
makes me happier than seeing people happy and seeing people
Sure.
successful.
Sure. Amen to that. So that's Adam Bremen, from Keto Krisp. It's such an amazing story. You guys need to follow him on social media, and he's gonna give all the social media handles here. But before you do that, Adam, what do you want to leave the audience with today? If they took the full hour plus to listen to this, what do you want to leave the audience with?
Just live each day to the fullest. Don't try to take on too much. Just try to build on small successes every day. Be grateful for the opportunities that you have. Uh, Take time for yourself to reflect, to call people that you love. Just stay connected to people that you love and do the things that you enjoy. And, you know, just keep busy and just have fun. Keep it simple. You know, just you know, write your own ticket. Don't worry about what other people are doing or what other people are saying. Just do what makes you happy because it's a lot more fun in life to be happy than to be sad. And
A lot more fun.
it's a lot more fun. And obviously with the pandemic, it's been hard for everyone. It's been hard for myself. It's been hard for you. It's been hard for everybody. This is so out of the ordinary for everyone. This is why we need love and support more than ever. And just every day, if you could take a little piece of that day and say, you know what, I'm grateful for this, and just go with it. Just have fun. Don't try to overthink it too much.
Ha-
You know,
I love that.
uh, you know. Thanks everybody for the support. It was great to be on the show today, and I look forward to hearing many more podcasts and doing whatever I can to help folks.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for the insight. Thanks for just helping people learn about you and learning how to deal with tragedy and success. And your story is not a tragedy. Your story is an inspiration and success. So thank you, guys. Make sure to go follow Adam. Make sure to try Keto Krisp. They are some delicious bars. Thank you so much for being on the show. Well, this is The More We Know, where you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.